Testing, testing, gooseneck microphone in the translations booth. We are now testing the mic in the translations booth. Gooseneck microphone, mic check. 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. Mic check in the gooseneck microphone in the translations booth. 1 2 3 1 2 3. Now I will jump over to the Spanish headset.
Testing. They're great, aren't they? I just love.
Good morning. Welcome to the March 11th, 2025 meeting of the Los Angeles Unified School District Board of Education. The time is now 9:03. Hearing a bit of an echo. I think the echo should be gone now. Still there? Check, check on the echo. Well, we're going to press forward because I don't want to hold up our business. Probably the laptop right there. Thank you. Okay, I'll take roll. Ms. Newbill.
Present.
Dr. Rivas.
Present.
Mr. Melvoin. Ms. Griego. Ms. Gomez,
Here.
Ms. Ortiz Franklin, and Board President Schmerlson.
Present.
All right. So that's 4. We have a quorum. Other. Oh, Mr. Melvoin has arrived. All right, we now have 5. Okay. And we have other board members arriving imminently. I'm going to go ahead and read the purpose and authority for what will be discussed in closed session. And following that, we will take public comment on the items that will be heard, as well as general public comment. All right. Under tab 1, student discipline matters pursuant to Education Code 48918CF. Under tab 2, personnel, under Government Code Section 54957, public employee discipline, dismissal, and release, and the superintendent's evaluation. Ms. Ortiz Franklin is here now. Welcome. Under tab 3, conference with legal counsel, pending litigation pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9D1. Alex G. et al. v. LAUSD, LA Superior Court case number 25STCV03723, and that case number is listed on our website along with the order of business if you want to go look that case up. And there is one piece of anticipated litigation, and that will be heard pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9D4. Under tab 4, conference with labor negotiators pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.6. The negotiators, Dr. Murphy, and the employee organizations discussed are Associated Administrators of Los Angeles, California School Employees Association, Los Angeles County Building and Construction Trades Council, Los Angeles School Police Association, Los Angeles School Police Management Association, Service Employees International Union, SEIU Local 99, Teamsters, United Teachers Los Angeles, and district represented employees and contract management personnel who all right, that's all we have for the closed session items to be heard. We will jump right into public comment. The way our public comment works is you can sign up to speak to a specific action item, so that we call that a tab. Or if you made it in time, you can speak to general public comment, which are comments relative to any business that the school district is involved in, period. All right, so under tab 1, student discipline matters, Ashley Lares, are you here? Ashley, Lares. I don't see anyone online for named Ashley also. Let's see, David Gray, are you here? David Gray? I do not see a Mr. Gray online either. And then we have under tab 1, Erlinda Morida. Erlinda Morida is here for tab 1, call in. I don't see Ms. Morita here. I don't have her online in front of me. So that swiftly brings us to tab 3, conference with legal counsel. We have someone listed as an educator calling in. I have you there, educator. Please press *6 to unmute yourself, and you'll have 2 minutes to speak once you begin. Tab 3. An educator.
Thank you. I am here. Hi. So I looked over district email, and it stated that there was a week-long event with regards to your affiliation with Sandy Hook Promise. This is a very sensitive topic, but it is valid for me to address. I have spoken to a few administrators. I had been a news reporter for a professor who has looked extensively into what we all feel is a tragic event. He has evidence that something different happened to what the official narrative was. And I find as an educator, it's only right for me to bring this up to you because there is a donation button and a whole lot of people that feel that this was done one way, and it would be wrong for me not to say anything. So this professor actually went to court with his evidence, and the judge would not allow him to present it. They also would not give him his constitutional right to a jury. And as an educational institution, we do tell our students that they have rights. We all have rights in the United States of America. So I'm going to ask you to please put him as an item on the agenda per your California Education Code, where if a member of the community would like to speak, that is appropriate. He will be speaking more to his case, and that's what I wanted to say today. It's important that people are not silent, and when people are, that's very questionable.
Thank you
And
very
we
much
don't
for
want
your
that.
time. We appreciate your time. Thank you. Okay, let's see, we have a Dr. Fetzer online. Dr. Fetzer speaking to tab 3 conference with legal counsel. Dr. Fetzer, I saw you online a moment ago. There you are. Dr. Fetzer, please press *6 to unmute yourself, and you'll have 2 minutes to speak once you begin. Dr. Fetzer.
Thank you so much. My name is Jim Fetzer, PhD. I'm a retired professor of philosophy from the University of Minnesota Duluth. In order to sort out the ambiguities of Sandy Hook, I brought together a group of 15 experts, including 6 PhDs, to figure what actually had happened and published a book about it, 440 pages. We discovered the school had been closed by 2008, that there were no students or teachers there, and that it had been a FEMA drill presented as a school shooting to promote gun control. We already had the manual for the event, which I included as Appendix A in the book, which I entitled Nobody Died at Sandy Hook, and Amazon banned less than a month after it went on sale, even though it had sold 500 copies. I was taken to court to try to get the book suppressed after I released it for free as a PDF, and the judge, as Monique has observed, would not allow the
I
proof
apologize
had
for
to
the
be
interruption, sir, but is this relevant to pending litigation before the district right now?
No, it's relevant to your association with Sandy Hook Promise, because the participants in the drill reached out to me over the lawsuit because they were upset that I was being sued. They informed me that everyone in the community had participated in the drill, liked the book because it was honest. You can find information about it now, including provided by them on my blog at jameshfetzer.org, entitled Fake News, The Truth versus Alex Jones, including the Connecticut FEMA schedule showing this exercise as L366 right on the schedule, which was provided by the participant who was cast as Emily Parker, little blonde-eyed school.
For your time, sir, that's all the time you have today. That concludes tab 3, conference with legal counsel. Okay, going on to tab 4, conference with labor negotiators. We have one David Tokofsky. Come on up, Mr. Tokofsky. You'll have 2 minutes to speak once you begin.
Thank you very much. David Tokofsky speaking. Of course, there's plenty of litigation on the shootings around schools, and that litigation, unfortunately, comes on our burden here at the Public of LA Unified. I'm speaking on negotiations. Always with negotiations is to protect the general fund. General fund provides money for the instruction program, the most important thing we do, the programs, the curriculum, and of course it is essential to your negotiations for salaries and health benefits. So defeasing, what we used to call defleecing of COPs, because COPs fleece the general fund, is a good idea. But what you need to see is how much general fund has been paid down, how much you're saving, and how much you expended already, and the itemization of it. That is not in the materials for later. Good news, your 3-year second interim today shows a growth of general fund, but it doesn't tell us how it went from 6.5 billion down to 4.1. Good to see you back again in the meeting. And how those 6.5 to 4.1, itemize it. It would be great to see that. Where did it go? What is it being dedicated? And 3 years, of course, is a ridiculous item. AB 1200 requires 3 years of expenses with only 1 year of revenue. It needs to be part of the legislative agenda to figure out how. The third year is basically to hone in the unions and their asks. So again, today, protect the general fund so you can negotiate and not defer money to a third year, because children are here now. They're learning right now. The more money and dedication we can put into the right now and not defer it, like the $500 million from FEMA that we bought for 4 years ago is now being spent 7 years later. Put the money in now, support your programs, support instruction, and support the adults who do that for the children of LA Unified. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. All right, that concludes item-specific comment, and we'll now go to general public comment. As is my usual policy, I'll call on folks who are in person first, and then we'll transition to those who have listed themselves as speaking remotely. So the first three speakers, we have Mark Witschke. Mark W., if you're here, come on up. You'll have 2 minutes to speak once you begin, and then after Mr. W. is our Maria Luisa Palmer, and then John Crampner. Please go ahead. The 2 minutes is yours.
All right. Good morning, President Smirlson, Superintendent Carvalho, and board members. I am Mark Witschke, a retired LAUSD social studies and English teacher, a taxpayer, and a concerned community member. I rise to draw attention to the district's egregious mistake in providing links on its websites to material from the Anti-Defamation League, the ADL. The board should know that the ADL is a lobby group for the State of Israel masquerading as a civil rights organization. The ADL has an unabashed political agenda to support the genocidal actions of the rabid extremist Zionists who have taken control of the Israeli government. The Nation magazine has called the ADL the Israel's attack dog in the U.S. In 2020, more than 100 civil rights and community groups, including the Center for Constitutional Rights and the National Lawyers Guild, published an open letter warning that the ADL, quote, has a history and ongoing pattern of attacking social justice movements led by communities of color, queer people, immigrants, Muslims, Arabs, and other marginalized groups, while aligning itself with police, right-wing leaders, and perpetrators of state violence, unquote. Indeed, a visit to the ADL's website that the LAUSD links to reveals that the ADL distorts Jewish teachings, unjustly demonizes Palestinians and their supporters, and foments Islamophobia. Material provided by such a politically charged, racist, and hate-filled organization such as the ADL is but propaganda, not education, and has no place at LAUSD. I urge the board to remove the link and refrain from any future association or promotion of the ADL and any of its literature. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Maria Luisa Palma, come on up. You'll have 2 minutes to speak once you begin.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Maria Luisa Palma. As a longtime professional in the financial services industry, I come here today to speak to you about this proposed defeasance of $250 million of the certificates of participation. Do any of you know what this is? This is a financial calculator, HP 12C. Classic use in the financial services industry back in the day. I'm an old timer, before we all had computers sitting on our desks. My name is engraved in the back because somebody else might walk away with my calculator. I believe you have a need for a little bit of training on the time value of money, concepts of prudent finance of capital assets. Let me give you an illustration about the concepts. Let's say that you got a car loan with a 14-year term with a 10-year prepayment penalty. You can only prepay after the 10 years. Let's say that your mom owns a real estate property. So before the 2 years are up, you ask your mom to take out a 30-year mortgage to give you the cash in a lump sum to pay off that car loan. So you're gonna ask that your mom makes the payment on the mortgage of both principal and interest. So if she gives you all that cash and you pay off the outstanding principal, and therefore all the interest that's due between now, before year 2, and the 10-year mark, Can you kind of imagine what happens to that interest amount? You would be paying 10 years worth of interest over a 2-year term that you actually borrowed the money for. Can you imagine what the effective rate of interest for that is? So if you go ahead and approve that defeasance of those certificates of participation over a 2-year term, and you pay the entire interest, which is how I read that document, that you will have a prepayment penalty of 10 years worth of interest on that. You will be in this position where we will be paying as taxpayers for all of the interest for that period, and we will be paying the interest on the bonds that you replace that debt with. So please consider this. Please call me if you need more information on these concepts. This is math and the time value of money calculation.
Thank you for your time,
Please.
Ms. Palma. John Crampner, come on up. You'll have 2 minutes to speak once you begin. And then after Mr. Crampner will be Diana Guillen and then Marie Germain.
Good morning. My name is John Crampner. I oppose the district website's link to the Anti-Defamation League's Echoes and Reflections curriculum. In addition to being a retired teacher of English as a second language in the adult division of LAUSD, I am also a Jew. Growing up in Brooklyn, I attended the Beth Elohim Synagogue in Park Slope. I was bar mitzvahed there in 1965. Over the last year and a half, I have watched in horror as Israel has engaged in a campaign of genocide against the Palestinians. The Anti-Defamation League does not speak for me, nor does it speak for the Jewish community. Its Echoes and Reflections curriculum echoes the party line of the right-wing extremists who now rule Israel, and it reflects a mindset of intolerance rather than defense of the Jews. As a Jew, I have experienced anti-Semitism. Opposing genocide is not anti-Semitic. Saying Palestinians are human beings with legitimate national aspirations is not anti-Semitic. Criticizing Zionism, an ideology controversial among Jews since its inception, is not anti-Semitic. Curricular material which implies otherwise is not educational, it is propaganda, and yes, it is defamatory. It does not belong in LAUSD. The ADL's curriculum twists and deforms my religious heritage into a cudgel that deprives other religious and ethnic communities of their basic rights as American citizens. Please do not use Echoes and Reflections or accept any curricular input from the hate mongers of the ADL.
Thank you for your time. Diana Guillen, come on up. Ms. Guillen's going to speak in Spanish, so if you'd like to hear what she's saying in English, please put your hands up and we'll get these translation headsets to you. Ms. Guillen? Oh, there she is. One more in the back. It looks like Mr. Tokowski has his hand raised. Okay, listos, gracias.
Buenos días. Good morning, members of the board. My name is Diana Guillen, and I'm here to represent the Parent Network for School Safety. I truly hope you heard the mini class you got regarding finance, because this money we are going to be paying for all the contributors, since you're taking unilateral decisions that don't necessarily benefit all of the public. Mr. Melvoin, you said you were graduated from a great school. Hopefully you can demonstrate then taking care of the money of the public. In the subcommittee of this school police, we've asked for the incident data and we haven't been delivered this information. And the last meeting is this month, and we'd like to know when we're going to be provided these documents, because how are we supposed to provide feedback in a way that is based on information, since in February in 2021, Ms. Goldberg, when you decided to create BSAP and remove school police from the school sites, she said she was going to vote yes, but just in case she was mistaken with this decision, she said, I want to be analyzing the data significantly. So if it was important to change the decision, you could do so. But it looks like over the past 4 years, you have not wanted to hear or seek the information. You've already had a question onto the public, and we retrieved 5,000 signatures of parents demanding school police in school grounds. We have a crisis here, and you're not listening. Ms. Ortiz, you're saying you're here to defend the African American community, but you're not talking to them. And so many of them want school police. And like you said, here is a paid group, not actual parents who want school police. It's not just African American people that are asking this in their schools, but you seem to not know how these people live. You've been here for years, and now we have a crisis of safety in all the community.
Maria Germain? Or Marie Germain. There we are.
Good morning, board members and superintendent. I am Marie Germain. I worked for 25 years as an elementary school teacher, and I'm a member of the UTLA Board of Directors. I will speak to the need for paid planning days for teachers. As you know, CBASE's employees, that is teachers, are off during the summertime and are not expected to work a day past the pupil-free day at the end of the school year. And they are not expected to return in August until their pupil-free day. But many teachers do, and this is on their free time and without pay. Teachers have to set up classrooms that are academic, vibrant, inviting, and inclusive for all students. They create spaces for small group instruction, centers for students to rotate throughout the day, technology for the class, flexible classroom designs that support the need for students to have movement during learning, and so much more. UTLA members are asking for the Board of Education to approve our request for one paid teacher prep day at the beginning of the school year and one paid prep day to close out classrooms at the end of the school year. While this request for 2 paid days falls short of honoring the weeks of unpaid work time teachers put in before and after the school year, our dedicated members deserve 2 full days of prep pay we are asking for. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Basha Jamil? Basha Jamil? Okay, Jennifer Anderson, come on up. You have 2 minutes to speak once you begin.
Good morning. I'm Jennifer Anderson. I'm a 21-year teacher, and I'm also on the board for UTLA. And I'm speaking about the paid prep days that the union is asking for. At the beginning of every school year in every classroom across this district, a new family is created. Whether that family is dysfunctional or not depends on the teacher and the way that they set up their classroom. In over 20 years of teaching, I've seen teachers volunteer weeks of their time ahead of the school year in order to prepare for students to come. The environment they set up in their classroom inspires friendship, exploration, play, learning, and success for the students who will call it home for the next year. The district needs to acknowledge the thought and sweat that teachers put in before the classes open to children with paid prep days. A teacher will use the first day just to clean, set up furniture and supplies that have been stored away for summer, and look at how many students are on their roster and need to be prepared for. This includes a call home to introduce themselves to make sure families get a brief introduction to the person their children will spend a large portion of their year with. Day 2 starts the creation of bulletin boards, opening cumes, and putting library books on shelves and books in desks. If the teacher's lucky, family and friends will come donate their time as well to help set up this environment for their classroom. I just want to note that a teacher has not even started lesson planning yet. That will come later in the week. 2 paid days of preparation is not enough. We need to respect the process that teachers go through to set up and take down their rooms and prepare for instruction by paying them for some of their time. If we expect instructional time to be used for instruction, then we have to give time for all of the other duties that surround teaching and a school environment. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Rebecca Husseini. Rebecca, come on up. You'll have 2 minutes to speak once you begin.
Good morning. My name is Rebecca Husseini. I'm the Vice President of Operations and Administration at the Muslim Public Affairs Council. Today, I represent the Muslim community, which is deeply concerned about the implications and effects of external influence on our K-12 schools. The primary focus of our schools should be to provide a balanced education that encourages critical thinking and a broad understanding of diverse perspectives. However, the involvement of third-party groups with specific political or ideological agendas risks skewing this balance, compromising our core educational mandates and influencing the academic freedoms that are the foundations of our institutions. We then mold young minds to fit a particular narrative rather than fostering an environment of learning and inquiry. The influence and fear-mongering eerily parallels dark moments in U.S. history, such as the Red Scare and the imposition of loyalty oaths within the UC system, where fear and discriminatory bias plagued academic integrity. Just as those actions and periods were reviewed with regret, this may also be our path if we continue to allow our schools to be swayed by such pressures. The American Muslim community has noted an alarming rise in Islamophobia within our schools, correlating with the influence of the ADL that conflates Zionism with anti-Semitism and vilifies American Muslims for Palestine. It is not just about preserving the integrity of our educational practices, but about protecting the future of our children and ensuring they receive an education that is free from hate. Let's keep the ADL and special interests out of our classrooms so we can educate and not indoctrinate. I look forward to our collective efforts to deliver educational excellence and promote critical thinking. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time. Okay, Mr. Juan Magandi, come on up. You'll have 2 minutes to speak once you begin. Mr. Magandi is going to speak in Spanish, so if you'd like to hear what he's saying in English as he's speaking in Spanish, please put your hands up. We'll get you these translation headsets. And then after Mr. Magandi will be Monica Arrazola, and then Marcy Winograd. So Mr. Magandi, then Ms. Arrazola, and then Ms. Winograd. Please go ahead.
Buenos días.
Good morning. I don't know if to laugh or cry because, to come here is like talking, how's it called, where the gods lived? In, those things, Asgard or the kingdom of the gods, something like that. They did not care about looking down at all. Do you know how many students we've lost in the last 5 years? Mr. Schmerl said about what we talked about, that this would happen. I told you, if you knew what the Cassandra syndrome is. I told you once, why don't you kneel when the tsunami and the explosion is coming? Or did I not say that what would happen right now? How many students we've lost in the last 5 years, and you are guilty. Don't tell me you are not, because you ignore about the realities in the community. And what are you doing today to change that image, that way to help parents? Don't come to say that you're interested in the community. You are false, just like the others, because you have been able to do good things for the community because you do know. But what are we doing here? How many students have we lost? And what we will continue doing? Where's parent engagement that you have supported, that is the sicario of the parent engagement, which is Antonio, who's done stupidities, and it's furthering parents from being in schools. What are you doing? You are the president. It is time for you, for the first time, to pull up and make changes, because this is make changes. Because if you're not doing this, look at all those things about finances, because so many of you are approving bonds, paying debts with debts, and we're going to be paying for this for 30 years. I don't know. Where's the man from Harvard? Oh, here he is, Mr. Melvoin. He knows so much about finances, but maybe he's perverse because he sees that you can make an error, that you're going over the edge because you don't have the information, and to advise the district that we truly need, because we are in crisis, in uncertainty, and to stop doing what has not worked and what's not good. I think, Schmerlson, this is a call to action, because you know what we're going through.
Thank you for your time. Ms. Arrazola, come on up. I'll see you out there. Please, you'll have 2 minutes to speak once you begin. Monica Arrazola.
Good morning. My name is Monica Rasolo. I have 2 students in the district. I am here because I continue to support the police. The police is having the support of parents. The PTA is also uniting so they can help the police. It is very important that school police returns to our school. Safety is very important, and truly, every single day, we don't know in what second, in what moment we can lose a life. We give you our children well, and you return them dead or criminals, or that they're thieves, delinquents, criminals. Ms. Rocio, you that are Latina, please support us. Please walk with us to look after our children. It is so important. Please represent us as Latina, that you're an immigrant as well. Please be in our shoes as a parent. Thankfully, your son is okay, but unfortunately, some others are not. And you more than anything know that these crimes have increased in 300%. This is incredible, and it's something urgent that we need to take action. And sometimes you get so frustrated to come and go, talk to parents, and the parents are saying that how their children are doing. And African Americans, we've spoken to them, that they too are concerned about what's happening. I don't know where that information comes that you said that they don't want it, because I've spoken to parents. I don't speak English, but I've been able to speak to them in my little English that I do understand, how they are also wanting school police in schools because their students are victims. Now with this new change in president, there's been more violence. It is so sad that another person that is not a Latino, to say to a Latino that they don't know what race is, but because they're Latino, they say Mexican. Oh, say Mexican, you're going to get deported. That's something so sad for our children. Our students are born here, and they're telling them that they're going to be deported when they don't even know what that is. That should not happen. I ask you, Ms. Rocio, to please support us as Latino. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time. Marcy Winograd, are you here? Marcy W., come on up. You'll have 2 minutes to speak once you begin.
President Schmerelson, board members, Superintendent Carvalho, I'm Marcy Winograd. Great to be with you. Thank you for your commitment to our students' success. I'm a retired LAUSD English and government teacher, a voting member of the UTLA House of Representatives, a member of Jewish Voice for Peace, and the organizer for Code Pink's National Drop the ADL campaign. I'm here to ask you to sever your relationship with the Anti-Defamation League, a pro-Israel lobby group that spent $1 million last year on lobbying. The ADL's curriculum, Echoes and Reflections, I'm deep into it. I think it would be shocking if you looked at what they are teaching our students, and that is to conflate anti-Zionism, the rejection of political critique, the rejection of an ethno-nationalist Jewish state that privileges one ethnicity over another, with anti-Semitism, persecution, discrimination against Jews. My great-grandparents were murdered in a Nazi concentration camp. I say never again for anyone. I say we cannot weaponize the Holocaust to justify the occupation of Palestine, the genocide in Gaza. Right now, 2 million people being starved to death. We cannot indoctrinate our students into this. And please take a look at the ADL website, which now says we no longer focus on anti-bias training. We are now solely focused on Judaism, the Holocaust, and anti-Semitism. No. The ADL is focused on vilifying peace activists, on genocide denial, and on complicity. Take a look at their Twitter page with the Trump administration's persecution of peace activists. Thank you so much again for what you are doing for our students. I'm really, really grateful. Best. Bye.
Thanks for your time. Isabel Gonzalez, come on up. You'll have 2 minutes to speak once you begin. Ms. Isabel Gonzalez. Ms. Gonzalez is going to speak in Spanish, so if you'd like to hear what she's saying in English as she's speaking in Spanish, please put your hand up and we'll get you a translation headset.
Buenos días, miembros del board.
Good morning, members of the board. You, members of the board, have a lot in common with the Democratic politicians. It's simple. You just don't want wellness for your community. Who are the children? And those children are most vulnerable. We have gathered more than 5,000 signatures, or 6,000 of concerned parents due to the increase in violence in and outside of schools in LAUSD. And you are deaf. Your ears are deaf to these petitions requests. You don't listen to principals in schools that yell out to control violence in schools. You are blind and deaf to the positive assessments of having school police. Having school police, the students feel protected. They create safety. They create confidence in themselves. The behavior of the children becomes of respect towards the law and order. Academic achievement of children is positive, but it looks like you don't like that. The wellness and safety and the future of the lives of our children should have never been negotiated. We demand that school police return, that you return the financing or funds for school police, and that you are not respecting students' rights to study in a safe environment. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Marcela Garcia, you're signed up to speak remotely, but I do not have you online. Marcela Garcia. David Klein. David Klein, please press *6 to unmute yourself, and you'll have 2 minutes to speak once you begin. David Klein.
Mr. President, Superintendent Carvalho, and board members, my name is David Klein. I'm a retired professor and a member of Jewish Voice for Peace. I've given dozens of professional development lessons to LAUSD teachers in past years, and I have grandchildren about to enter LAUSD schools. I'm here to ask you to cut all ties with the Anti-Defamation League. The ADL is a pro-Israel lobby group, much like AIPAC, masquerading as a civil rights organization. The ADL smears human rights organizations that oppose Israel's genocide of Palestinians, and it silences Jewish and Palestinian voices calling for the protection of Palestinian lives. A coalition of more than 90 organizations has denounced the ADL in writing and called upon schools not to partner with the ADL. These organizations include Jewish Voice for Peace, American Friends Service Committee, Movement for Black Lives, Code Pink, and the Council on American Islamic Relations, among many others. Please heed the advice of these prestigious organizations by severing all ties with the Anti-Defamation League. Please do not allow Zionist indoctrination of our students and the normalization of genocide. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Jerome Palacios Meyerson, I see you're online. Jerome Meyerson, please press *6 to unmute yourself, and you'll have 2 minutes to speak once you begin.
Hello. Hopefully you can hear me. My name is Jerome Palacios Meyerson. Thank you, board members, for your ongoing dedication to our children's education. I'm the parent of a first grader at Silmar Elementary in District 6. I'm a devout Jew. I can read and write Hebrew. I have walked the length of Israel from Lebanon to the Gulf of Aqaba, and I have several Israeli friends, including many that live there to this day. That being said, the ADL doesn't represent me and has no place in a public school system. ADL curriculums offer simplistic approaches to complex issues, increases division, and trivializes viewpoints that don't align with the Israel first mentality. They may be welcome at a private conservative religious school, but not one as diverse and far-reaching as LAUSD. I agree we should all stand up to anti-Semitism, but prioritizing that ahead of other forms of bigotry is political and unjust. And what is anti-Semitism anyway? This term was literally created by Nazi Germans to provide a scientific veneer for anti-Jew hatred. Meanwhile, the notion of anti-Zionism is several decades older and was born in the Jewish community from those that opposed migration to our biblical homeland in Palestine. Conflating these two ideas is inaccurate and just one example of how the ADL fails to help teachers express nuance for developing minds. I'm not here to say the ADL is evil. I'm here to say it simply doesn't fit with LAUSD's mission of providing a rigorous, culturally relevant education for all students. Please remove all references from LAUSD web pages. Please decline meetings with them due to their partisan approach. And please remember, Jews are a diverse population with several perspectives. Blindly supporting the state of Israel is only one of those perspectives. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Este Chandler, I see you're online. Este Chandler, please press *6 to unmute yourself, and you'll have 2 minutes to speak once you begin. Chandler, S.D. Chandler.
Hi, thank you. As a Jewish Angelino, it's troubling to see that the LAUSD website promotes the Anti-Defamation League's teaching about anti-Semitism in schools. As The Nation magazine reported last year, posing as a civil rights group, the ADL has long operated as an intelligence organization targeting Israel's critics. To their point, about a year ago, following a pro-Palestinian demonstration in New York, the ADL released a report listing over 3,000 anti-Semitic incidents committed in the first 3 months of Israel's genocidal assault on Gaza. But it was quickly found that the incidents cited in their report were actually actions directed in protest of Israel's conduct of its war on Palestinians, not attacks against Jews due to their religious or ethnic identity, forcing the ADL to later admit to making up nearly half of the incidents they cited. In fact, former ADL staffers confided to the Jewish Currents magazine last year that the CEO had redirected the group's day-to-day work to target pro-Palestine activism rather than focusing on anti-Semitism in American life, a shift they said, quote, seriously undermines the organization's credibility, end quote. One staffer was quoted saying, the CEO is waging war on pro-Palestinian activists. According to Jewish Currents reporting, Greenblatt, the CEO, has even battled against the ADL's own civil rights office over legislation targeting criticism of Israel, quote, choosing repeatedly to privilege Israel advocacy over the protection of civil liberties, end quote. Under the circumstances, it seems like malpractice for an educational institution like LAUSD, which I graduated from, to consider, let alone utilize any Anti-Defamation League materials for the teaching of students of any age. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time. Karina Lopez, I see you're listed as speaking remotely, but I do not have you online. Karina Lopez, are you in the room? No. Let's see, Jenna Noyes, I see you're online. Jenna, please press *6 to unmute yourself, and you'll have 2 minutes to speak once you begin. Jenna Noyes.
Good morning, members of the board. My name is Jenna Noyes, and a PTA Executive Board member representing Valley Hills Council, Apperson Elementary, and Mount Gleason Middle School. So just last Friday, along with many other parents, I kept my child home from school due to a serious threat made by an 8th grader who reportedly had a hit list and threatened to shoot up the school. Initially, many dismissed it as rumors, but as I received phone calls and text messages from concerned parents, students came forward for the information late Thursday evening. After sharing names and screenshots with the watch commander, I was told they were unaware of the situation and would begin investigating. However, the school failed to be transparent, falsely claiming the situation had already been handled and resolved even before the school day began. So the situation highlights a deeper issue that I'm concerned about, the safety of our students. Unfortunately, what emerged from this incident was not just a threat, but a cry for help from the student who, due to bullying and personal struggles, felt the need to express their pain in such a dangerous way. I speak from experience, having witnessed my own child endure bullying. How can we ensure that the student gets the help they need, as well as address the bullying issue at its core when current interventions like peer mediation in the dean's office are ineffective? Bullying and peer rejection are known risk factors for school violence, and we cannot ignore that. Another pressing concern I want to bring to your attention is the alarming number of safety incidents at the school. In just the short month of February, there were 4 severe safety incidents, and now in March, 2 fights and a gun threat. This level of violence and disruption is out of control. How can we ensure the safety of our students when such incidents seem to be becoming the norm? It's crucial that we take stronger measures to protect the children. Why can't there be specific campus police check-ins? Why is there lack of transparencies with families about incidences? Parents and community members deserve to know the facts, and we can collectively work to prevent further violence and create a safe learning environment. I urge the board to take immediate action, train campus aides, bring back campus police, and most importantly, collaborate with families and community to make the necessary changes. The current approach is not working, and we need to do better for the safety and well-being of our children. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time. Maria Daisy Ortiz, I see you're on the line. Maria Daisy Ortiz, please press *6 to unmute yourself, and you'll have 2 minutes to speak once you begin. Maria Daisy Ortiz.
Buenos días. ¿Me escuchan? Buenos días. ¿Me escuchan?
Sí, se escucha.
Good morning to all. My name is Maria Daisy Ortiz, and as a citizen, I am a taxpayer, and I'm here. I'm asking you, as board members, that there should be more transparency with the categoric funds, knowing that as a parent, we haven't had, for years, we haven't had a glossary or an explanation of the categoric funds. And I'm talking about this because within those category funds, there is a program of secure schools in which we don't know how many funds we receive or how much funds we receive, how much the school receives. Therefore, this should change, Mr. Scott, as president. I've had meetings with all the mechanisms from the state, Title I, Title III, LCFS, and honestly, I want to reveal the lie that has been covered by Salcido and Plasencia, by Pedro Salcida and Mr. Plasencia, saying that categoric funds, only DLAC committee are the ones who endorse it. That is a huge lie. Therefore, we ask for changes so that there can be transparency, there can be parent inclusion. This is why you receive the categoric funds. Now, in regards to funds and the bad decisions that you've made in this board, our children are paying for it. They're the first ones with the education because the results with the English learners and iReady is 1%, Mr. Carvalho. Therefore, 5% is in math and English. Science, all students are at 8% in competency, and 70% of all the students don't have competency in mathematics and English. Therefore, if you will renew the contract, I believe that you should think about it, because he has dismantled this with money, but he does appear at school asking for parents to participate so that federal funds aren't removed, just to secure his position.
Thank you for your time. And let's see, we have Eddie Pistolesi. Eddie P., please press *6 to unmute yourself, and you'll have 2 minutes to speak once you begin. Eddie P. Mr. Pistolesi, I see you're online.
Hello?
Hi, go ahead. Edie.
Hi, my name is Edie Pistolesi, and I am a retired public school teacher. I taught in inner city public schools for nearly 40 years. My children attended LAUSD public schools, and I understand public education from the inside. For that reason, I am appalled at the plan for LAUSD to partner with the Anti-Defamation League to use a curriculum that actually suppresses opposition to genocide. This Zionist indoctrination has no place in public schools. There is no place for a curriculum that excuses Israel's murder of Palestinian people, tens of thousands of whom are kids, from newborn infants to teenagers. This curriculum of implicit violence and hate has no right to exist anywhere, and especially not the kids in the LAUSD public school system. Thank you.
Thank you for your time, and we have one late arrival. Erlinda Morita, you're online. Please press *6 to unmute yourself and speak to tab 1, Student Discipline. Erlinda Morita.
Buenos días, soy Erlinda
Good
Morita.
morning. My name is Erlinda Morita. I would like to know what is the discipline that you're implementing in the schools. Last week at John Lathy Middle School, at around Union Avenue. 4 students had adhere alcohol and other substances. Therefore, schools aren't secure. There aren't officers to assist for emergency situations. The discipline is failing inside the schools. You need to create a campaign against drugs and bring the officials and counselors so that they can bring conscience to the problem that we're living. As parents, we are the most affected ones. Let's get school police back to schools. Well, within the academic areas, you're failing to the students. There's no structure coming from professionals. We need to work on this so that we can help. There are many students that are very low in mathematics, in English, and therefore this is something that needs to be, instead of bettering, it's getting worse. And I've seen many students leaving LAUSD. Therefore, what are we going to do? You need to start working on this. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. That concludes public comment. The time is now 9:53 a.m. and the board is going to recess into closed session. Okay, welcome back. The time is now 1:03 p.m. We're going to reconvene the March 11th, 2025 regular meeting of Los Angeles Unified School District Board of Education 9 a.m. meeting, which included closed session items. I'm going to report out on action taken, and then we will adjourn the meeting. And after about 5-10 minutes, we will open up the 1 p.m. meeting. Okay, under tab 1, student discipline, the Board of Education approved the expulsion of students in case numbers 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, and 72 with their recommended dispositions. The Board of Education denied the conditional enrollment of the students in case numbers 17, 18, and 19. The vote was 7 ayes on all student discipline matters. And then under tab 2, personnel, employee discipline, dismissal, and release. The Board of Education authorized the dismissal of 1 classified and 2 certificated employees. The vote was 7 ayes. And I'm realizing now that before I read that out, I didn't establish our quorum. So Ms. Newbill.
Present.
Dr. Rivas.
Present.
Mr. Melvoin. Ms. Griego. Ms. Gomez.
Here.
Ms. Ortiz-Franklin.
Present.
And Board President Schmerlson.
Present.
Okay, and I'll note that all 7 board members were physically present during the closed session, including the superintendent and team. All right, the time is now 1:04. Unless there's any objection, we'll adjourn the meeting and prepare for the next one. Okay, thank you. We'll be back shortly.